you go watch the hazel-eyed lady Kajol, who's on the couch with Koyal, where she's all praises for hubby Ajay Devgan. So much so, she says she just can't look beyond him. Intrigued? Well, then watch this.
Tell me about the first moment that you ever met Shah Rukh Khan. Because obviously your relationship with him is like, legendary.
Well, we did a film together called Bazigar, which was our first film together. And I remember coming on shooting and he was sitting over there and I was like, that's the hero of the film. He's like, what's his problem in life? Why doesn't he talk? And at that point of time, I was like, how can you have a person sitting on the set and be like completely silent or only talking about like, I was like, what a weird guy is that? So his makeup man actually was very sweet and Ravi Dada. So I was speaking to him in Marathi and I was like, तुमचा hero काय बोलतच नाही. And he's like, नाही, खूप चांगला मुलगा आहे आणि नाही, त्याला बघा आता तुम्ही, he's going to make it and this and that. And I'm like, what nonsense, he's not going to make it. He is so boring and he is so that. And I'm happily telling him all this while he was happily listening to me. He turned around and he looked at me and he was like, he's such a brat. Once
this is your first
talking,
interaction.
Yeah, this was my first interaction with him. And he sat at the table or whatever. It was actually, I could completely understand. I mean, later on when I look at it, I could completely understand why nobody was talking on the set. Because it was the day after New Year's. And everybody was like suffering from like a deep hangover. And here I come, like, chirpy. And I'm like loud. And I'm like, I probably was like echoing in their heads at that point of time and didn't even realize it. She's like, and of course, once I get started, it's like, it's hard to stop me. So I could completely understand that, but I understood that later, much later.
What was the first time that you met your husband Ajay Devgan like?
I was on the sets of, I think, Halchal at that point of time. And, I met him and he was sitting over there again. Another one of those, this wasn't because of a hangover, this was just a personality trait, of course, which I was like, come on, like get a life. What kind of a person are you who doesn't know how to talk properly? I'm like, I'm sitting next to you. I mean, at least have a decent conversation. If I'm starting it, continue it. So, again...
He's not a man of many words.
Yeah.
He says he listens when you talk.
Yeah, he's quite sweet about that. But, again, as I said before, it was just kind of, we were friends. And eventually he started talking. Either that or he started listening more attentively. I couldn't make out the difference at first, actually. But, he started, we became friends. And then things kind of went on from there.
When did you know you were in love with him?
I don't know. I really don't know. I haven't sat down and analyzed it to say that this was the point when this epiphany hit me or something like that. I don't think it was like that with us. I think it just kind of, it's a kind of realization that comes over you gradually over a time and you wake up one morning and you're like, you're comfortable with the idea because somewhere down the line your subconscious has already accepted it. And your conscious mind just tells you that, listen, this has been happening for a while now. It's time for you to wake up and smell the coffee kind of thing.
But was he your first serious boyfriend?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. I was going around with somebody else before I met him.
Non-filmy.
So, not filmy.
What about temptation? I mean, you're both spending a lot of time apart with nice, good-looking people that you get on with. What about temptation of that kind? How do you keep, the fidel part of your relationship going?
Well, I have no issues with it. I don't. I've really I sound very stupid when I say this, and I don't know how many people will believe me on this point. But I really think that my husband is the most amazing guy in the world, and I truly haven't looked beyond him since I met him. So I know it sounds really corny, stupid, and call it whatever, but it's the truth.